Roger Goodell could hand down Tom Brady's punishment for Deflategate any day now. With that ruling looming, some are saying pump the brakes. Monday morning quarterbacks Peter King offered his idea for the penalties. Wait. I think it takes a leader to stand up and say, we're going to be measuring the air pressure in football for the first time ever this season, before, during, and after games. And this is too important an issue to not have all the evidence in-house before making a ruling. Now, our ESPN insider Mike Reese also echoed a similar sentiment. If they overturn the suspension altogether or table it to gather more information on air pressure in footballs, they are driven by fairness. This would be an acknowledgement that there simply isn't enough evidence in the Wells report to conclude Brady is guilty. Right, so we heard from Reese and Peter King there. Stephen A., what are your thoughts on this?
My thought is that as much respect as I have for the great Peter King, along with Mike Reese, who does an outstanding job for ESPN covering the Patriots, an outstanding job, I respectfully disagree with both of them because I think both of them are missing the point and the issue.
Here we go again.
Well, you asked. I didn't volunteer this answer.
I didn't ask. She did.
Well, what you want me to do? Ignore the question? I got to answer it. Right. So that's what I'm doing. Here's the deal. They're focused on Deflategate. Let me emphasize this again so everybody in America will understand where we are coming from. I don't believe the deflated football issue is an issue. I don't care if Tom Brady was throwing Nerf footballs. He's still a bad boy. He still shellacked the Indianapolis Colts in that AFC Championship game. They still went home. He still went to the Super Bowl, and he validated and proved his greatness on the football field yet again by his performance in the Super Bowl, where the footballs clearly were not deflated. So I'm not caring about it. It does not matter. The issue at hand was the NFL spent $5 million to finance Ted Wells' investigation, and afterwards, Ted Wells blistered Tom Brady by saying that he was, quote unquote, generally aware and more probable than not that he knew what was going on. Essentially, they
deflated football.
Essentially, they leaned on that to highlight in their minds that Tom Brady had to know something, that Tom Brady, in essence, was a bit arrogant, dismissive, aloof, whatever word you want to use, towards the folks who came to investigate the matter, and the NFL felt the need to send a message to Tom Brady and future players that we don't care about the fact that you are a champion, or that you're seen as the quintessential ambassador, or that you've done things the right way, or whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is that we are the shield. You play for the New England Patriots, but the New England Patriots falls under our umbrella. That is the NFL. They are not bigger than the NFL. And when we send people to ask you questions, to investigate a matter, damn it, answer the questions. And make sure that you come across as cooperative as you can be. Otherwise, we are going to deal with you. It is that simple. And to me, that's a profound message to send. Now, I'm on the record, Skip, saying, and I don't care what anybody says, there is no way on earth that it is fair to the great Tom Brady to have him suspended for as many games as Greg Hardy. One has nothing to do with the other. We understand that. But this man was found guilty in the state of North Carolina via a bench trial by a judge for domestic violence. Okay. You can't suspend Tom Brady the same amount of games as him. But you can send a message to Tom Brady. Okay, fine. You didn't deflate footballs. But damn it, when we came to talk to you about it, you weren't cooperative, and this is the penalty that you get for that, 2 games. And if Tom Brady wants to go to court for that, good luck. Because I have a right as the league that I preside over. If I'm Roger Goodell, I have a right to sit there and say, I don't believe you were cooperative, and I don't appreciate your arrogance. I do have a right to do that.
You keep saying this is the issue at hand when it's only your issue at hand.
How is it my issue? That's what they wrote in the report.
You keep changing the subject with a specious argument,
is that not
an off-target argument. I don't know. I think I read some reports alluding to that. How do we know what was said between Tom Brady and the league in the first time
Troy
that they
Vincent's
met?
letter to Tom Brady, he didn't come across as accusing Tom Brady of being uncooperative.
Am I supposed to believe Troy Vincent?
We know he didn't give his phone, but a lot of people wouldn't give their phone.
I don't think you would have given up your phone.
I'm not giving my phone up.
Thank you very much.
But I would give up. I would give up specific messages. But I got Giselle as my wife. You know, oh no, I'm not giving up my phone. Oh no.
Look, if Stephen A. Smith were wrongly accused of something that you said you absolutely had no knowledge of, you'd be pretty uncooperative too. You'd say, I just didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about. That would be your answer to the investigators.
Yeah, but I would be prepared to answer questions in detail because I know I'm innocent. As opposed to coming across as vague, aloof, dismissive, or anything like that.
Are we sure he came across like that?
Well, that's what
I
they
don't
said.
know.
I'm just saying what they said. I don't know.
Do I trust what Troy Vincent says? I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't know.
You sat up here.
He's a league man.
Hold it, but you sat up here and said at the time that he was known as a man of high integrity. Troy Vincent, hold it. Troy Vincent's integrity.
The first day I had to react to the Wells report, and I said, well, I guess this is it. But isn't it interesting? We have come full circle from that first day of, he's guilty, they got him red-handed, to, man, maybe we should rethink the conclusions of this report that said Tom Brady was generally aware and that the Patriots, more probable than not, deflated the footballs. That is nothing but flimsy evidence and a murky conclusion. And it took me a while to come to grips with that after I talked to people close to Brady who said he's so outraged he's going to go to court. I said it about the second day that we talked about it, and I've stood fully behind that in a way that the NFL keeps standing strongly behind a Wells report that I think is making the league look more and more foolish by the day.
You can say that.
So, back to the great Peter King. I certainly agree. He is among the best to have ever covered the National Football League.
Without question.
He is plugged into the league, and he has a long-term relationship with the commissioner, Roger Goodell. So, is it possible that the league wanted to float this prospect of tabling the issue for a year just to see how Stephen A. Smith might, not just you, but all the media people would react to it? Is it possible that this option is being considered by the league as we speak? Maybe we should just table for a year, let things simmer down a little bit. Let's not go to court and fight with our golden boy quarterback, Tom Brady. Let's just stop this for a while and put it on the back burner. Is that a possibility that's happening right now?
Let me tell you why I don't believe it's a possibility. It would have been a possibility if the NFL hadn't already come down with its ruling of a 4-game suspension. But the bottom line is, as of right now, you have suspended Tom Brady for 4 games. So in order to table the issue, you then have to table the suspension. And if you table the suspension, it ultimately throws everything in flux. And it's egg on the face of the National Football League. And if they're not sure of Tom Brady's culpability in all of this, and that is the reason they suspended him, then they should table the issue, because that's unfair to Tom Brady. But I repeat this again. If indeed you suspended him because you deemed him uncooperative, that's a different issue.
Okay.
Now, we're sitting up here. We just had Steve Spurrier. We're going to have the coach at Florida Gators here in a little bit. You know, we got the SEC commissioner over here. Honored to meet him, by the way. We've got all of this stuff going on. Well, why? What's the second biggest sport in the nation? It's college football. Some would argue. College football, not the NFL, but college football. You got kids on the come up. You're talking about culpability. You're talking about being responsible. And when you have dominion over a league, you are the boss. When you want to sit here and say, well, Stephen A., you ain't turning over your cell phone. Yeah, that might be true. But if they ask me, pertinent to this issue, we want to see any messages or any emails or whatever that the correspondence related to that. And let's say, for example, ESPN wants that. Well, we got Bob Iger at Walt Disney. We got John Skipper running it. We got Mr. John Wildhack. Okay, let them ask me for my cell phone. Here you go. Pertinent to this issue. Here you go. You know why? Damn it, because they're the boss. I work for them, and that's the way it goes. You can't have Tom Brady, quarterback for the New England Patriots. You've got the NFL, Troy Vincent, and all of these boys, security literally escorting these equipment personnel and the likes to the locker room at halftime, bringing into question deflated footballs because the Indianapolis Colts reported it, okay? They're addressing the issue. They came to the Patriots. They ultimately gave you time. They didn't even bother you Super Bowl week. They didn't bother bother you the week before Super Bowl week. You decided to give those press conferences if you were Bill Belichick. You decided to give that a joke of a press conference if you were Tom Brady leading into Super Bowl week. And then after all of this, you got Tom, and here we come with this investigation to talk to you, and you don't have answers for us. That's a problem.
Okay, but we've been over this ground again and again. If they say to Tom Brady, you can pick and choose the texts and the emails in your phone.
Which Ted Wells said.
Yeah,
Which
well,
Ted
that's
Wells
just
said.
nonsense. Well, who wouldn't say, okay, I'll do that? I don't know what actually happened here. You either have the phone or you don't have the phone.
Ted Wells said, we don't have to leave this room. I don't need to look through your phone. Whatever, this is Ted Wells on the record. He spoke on this.
That's just absurd.
No, Skip. You can't say it's absurd if he's on the record telling you exactly what he said to them. According to Ted Wells, he said, quote, show me the emails or correspondence directly pertinent to this issue. I don't want to see any of your personal emails.
Yeah.
I will take your word for it. Just show me what you sent to the equipment manager.
I don't know what was said.
And Tom Brady.
Maybe Tom Brady said there were none.
All I'm saying, Skip, is this.
Some people delete messages.
So we're going to deal with what the report says, but we're going to ignore Ted Wells directly quoted in the aftermath of the Maelstrom of controversy it created. He is directly quoted on the record.
Last quick
saying
point.
what he demanded.
You brought up
And
Mike
they said
Reese.
no.
You brought up Mike Reese. He's one of my favorite beat writers. Covers the Patriots.
Sure.
You point out he does so even-handedly and objectively.
Yes, he does.
And I was pretty surprised, pleasantly so on my part. Mike Reese concluded today that the 4 games should be reduced to 0 games because the NFL has no history of evaluating the inflation of footballs. They need time.
Fine.
Okay?
Put it to 0 games if it's about deflated footballs, not if it's about Tom Brady's cooperation.
I think they already succeeded in tarnishing Tom Brady's reputation.
Okay.
That's what they set out to do.
One other thing that I want to point out quickly, too, there, that Peter King brought up in the article, if they reduce Brady's suspension, they're also going to have to reduce potentially the Patriots' punishment as well, because they have one there with draft picks. And again, if it is the 4 games, we have the Patriots schedule here: Steelers, Bills, Jags, bye, and then at Cowboys. But joining us now, we go back to the college game, SEC football. The new head man of the Florida Gators, Jim McElwain, joining us now. He's back in the SEC.
Welcome,
won 2
Coach.
national BCS championships as the Alabama OC.
Come on up.
Come on up. Come on up.
Really appreciate it. You guys
Very
doing
nice
all
to
right?
meet you.
Great to see you.
Hey, Coach.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good.
How are you, sir?
Hey, you doing all right, man?
I'm great.
Good. Me too.